10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Daddy was a farmer, Mama worked the bar. Daddy was...
Hi and welcome to Dax Chats. For this episode, I'm speaking to someone from the UK. Yes, this is only the second time we've spoken to someone from the UK. They've brought out a debut EP. They have 3 singles off the EP, the first one being Raising Hell, the second one being Change It, and the new one is called Thrill. She is alt country. She is proud alt country. She is Biddy Ronelle, and today, Dax Chats to Biddy Ronelle. Here she is. There
Hello.
you go.
That was quite a lead up.
I like those lead ups. I like to do that. And I like to, talk it up. So obviously, as we just spoke off camera, not many people in Australia know what's happening, or other parts of the world probably, about country music or alt country music in the UK. So talk us through Biddy Ronelle and how you got to where you are now.
Well, I am pretty new to the Americana scene in the UK. It's still a relatively small scene, so you get to know kind of everyone, which is nice. But it is building, and we've got more national stations now than we've had for a long time, and more listeners, so that's good. But I came from a theatrical background. I worked in music. Well, I still, whenever lockdown finishes, hopefully, I'll still work in theatre as well. But yeah, I primarily a songwriter, and I write, country music and some pop music for people. But my heart is in the darker stuff, the alt country, which is where I sit, straddling the lines.
The darkest of the dark. That's right.
Yeah.
So you have come out with a brand new EP called Aftershocks, and the first single was actually called Raising Hell. Talk us through Raising Hell to start off with.
So I remember sending that song to my mum because it's semi autobiographical. Biographical, that's the word. I can't get my words out.
Biographical.
Yeah, I mean it's loosely based on the upbringing, and basically the whole concept of the song is about divorce and how messy it can get for those involved, the kids especially, and how they will potentially grow up like I did, kind of a little bit on the wayside and just kind of rebelling. I did bring myself back, obviously. It didn't work out too bad, but it's that sort of song, and I wanted to touch upon things on that EP and stories that don't really get told. I mean, Tammy Wynette used to tell them all the time, and then since then it's always been kind of nice and airy fairy, especially from the women of the country. And I kind of thought, no, that's not real life, so why don't I tell these stories?
Correct, and I'll tell you what, you've probably lived quite a similar life to me. I was the wayward son for many, many years. I brought myself back from the brink as well. But, yeah, that's right. We're still alive. We're doing all right. So yes, my parents did it a funny way. My parents divorced after their youngest child had turned 18. Once he was an adult, my father thought it was fine for everything to just split up then. Okay. So I think that damaged us more because we lived through the heartache that was happening within their relationship for many years before he actually decided okay, you're all adults now. I can go my separate way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, you just think, I mean,
it was a
I'm
strange,
thankful
strange
that they
situation.
divorced. Yeah, I said mine divorced when I was
Mm.
about 9, 10, something like that. So old enough to understand what was going on,
Mhm.
but quite thankful what was that they were so wrong together. And you can see that
Mhm.
now, like they're both much happier. They're separate ways, separate sides of the world.
Yeah, separate sides of the world. That's right. Your mum's in Australia, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the more you talk, the more I might get an Australian accent because I've lived out there as well, and lived here and lived everywhere in between. It
Mhm.
does creep in now and again. 'Cause he sounds proper broad Aussie now, living up there,
Mhm.
down there from here.
Mm. Down here from down there from here, down there from here as well. It's just underneath us.
Yeah.
So your second song was called "Change It," and that was the song I was listening to just before you came on.
Yeah.
Awesome, another awesome track. So tell me about "Change It."
So was it Change It? So the second single was Run. I don't know if you heard that one.
I haven't heard "Run" yet. I just listened to
I
"Change It."
mean, you thought Raising Hell's a dark matter. Run was even darker matter, basically.
Mhm.
That was not a real life story. That was just inspired by a story on American Horror Stories.
Okay, all right. No, that's good. That's the creativity. I like that.
Yeah. But Change It, it's a happier song. But again, it's one about those, you know. If you know, I wrote that when I was in Australia, actually, at,
Mhm.
at an alligator, a crocodile park. And I think
Wow.
we were queuing up for ages, and I was just looking around the queue and seeing like some of the bored housewives been like, you could see they were like, what? It was 45 degrees, you're just covered in sweat, and there were their kids screaming, and you could just see these women's faces, and I was like, God, there's a song here somewhere, and I was just kind of writing it on my phone. And kind of whispered into my voice for a moment. And my mum was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I've got a song, baby."
We do that. We do that as songwriters. We do the strangest things.
Yeah.
I could be out in the balcony having a cigarette, and then suddenly something will come straight to my head, and if I don't get it down that second, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, I don't want to lose it. I want to remember this, and I want to get back and I want to go in the pool and just finish it.
Yeah. For sure.
That was actually the last song that made it onto the EP because I just came back from Australia. I was like, I have a new song. I am sorry, this is taking the place.
Right. So I was looking at the track listing of the EP. That's what I was looking at, not the single releases.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. There you go. That's what I did wrong. So you have "Run," which was the last track on the "Run" was the last track of the EP.
Oh,
so there you go.
There you go. I think it was just kind of Run's the really atmospheric one that will people either love it or hate it. Again, because it's such a dark story that you can't imagine a housewife listening at home to it and being quite comfortable. That was the intention.
Now your newest single is called "Thrill," and I know that because I've got it on the radio station. It's on the Country Thunder Network. And tell us about "Thrill."
Thrill is my lockdown Well, no, it is the creation. Basically, Thrill didn't make it onto the EP, and Change It took its place. And Thrill was kind of sat there in pieces. The vocals had pretty much been done, the guitars had been done, etc. We weren't sure what we're going to do with it. Like, we have a number of songs like that, but then I said to Stuart Turner, who I work with, Stu McGrew, that's his producing name. I said to him, I was like, is there any way we can salvage this the way it is and see if we can get it out? Like, whilst we have nothing else to offer.
Yeah.
And he worked his magic on it, and suddenly we had a finished track and something to promote whilst we're all in lockdown. And it's lighter, definitely lighter than the others, and it is a bit poppier. But that appeals, like you said, it appeals to people. That went to #1 in the country iTunes charts here in the UK. And no one was more surprised than I was. I was like, oh, because this was the song that we weren't
cool.
sure. We weren't sure we were going to do anything with. So it's like, oh, it's a bonus. So, and it's about,
for sure.
It can be interpreted in a couple of ways. You can interpret about one night stands, or the reason I wrote it is because way back when I wrote it, I was dating some idiot, but he was beautiful. And I kept going back and back and back. And, you know, at the same time, you're going like, I'm going to get so hurt here. But is this, yeah. And that's what it was.
It's worth it. That's okay.
Exactly.
I like that.
In the long term.
I like that.
Gave me a song.
I like the thrill of it. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I'm sure I could picture some of those times in my life as well. Don't worry.
I was saying to people, like, these songs, like, I want to write real songs that people can go, oh yeah, I remember that one, like, or remember that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Like, there you go.
Yeah. So obviously you've released this in the midst of a pandemic, and the UK hasn't fared very well. Tell us what's happening in the UK in times of COVID. Well,
I mean, we had full-blown lockdown for what seems like a really long time. For me, I was on a tour with a theatre show called the Chicago Blues Brothers, and that had filled my diary basically for the rest of the year. And, you know, in between I had solo gigs, and I was just working full-time as a musician, singer, and it was pretty much the second year of doing that. So I was just finding my feet and thinking, right, this is the way I want to make a living. It's great. And then about the 12th of March, they just, you know, they started to say theatres are closing. So the theatre tour got pulled, the dates, those, you know, for the rest of the month. And then they closed the bars. So there was the solo gigs gone. And I was like, and then suddenly within a day, I just had nothing. My diary just emptied out. And I was like, oh dear. So I went to work in a supermarket for a month. Didn't really enjoy that. Can't. And then I've managed to be working from home for our National Health Service, so that's given me full-time work.
Right, okay.
So we've been lucky to work at home as well. So
the NHS has struggled through all this, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, I just saw it going Pete Tong, and I thought I saw it going Pete Tong back in January though. I got back from Hong Kong in November because we'd been over there doing some gigs, and you know, everyone seemed to get ill just before Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, it wasn't me." And then all this news starts coming in January, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad." So I just started applying for work.
Chinese New Year 2020 was one we'd like to forget for sure.
Yeah, pretty sedated there.
So where are you at with restrictions now? What's happening in the UK now?
It's pretty well. We kind of delayed opening. I think, you know, the leisure centres and the gyms and stuff. I don't really know, to be honest, now, because it's got so confusing. There are a couple of places on local lockdown, and then they're saying that to the schools to go back, the bars are going to shut again. I don't really know. I just know now I'm working from home. If I go anywhere, I've got to book it, and I've got to take my mask.
God, I mean, obviously I'm in China, so I was here when the whole thing started. Basically, they shut down Wuhan on the 23rd of January. And on the 23rd of January, they shut down Beijing as well, because that's where all the government officials are. And that's where I was living at the time. So I was locked down from day one. The Country Thunder Network came about because of the pandemic, because I was sitting at home going, what the hell do I do? I need to do something. So I went back to what I knew and created an internet radio station called the Country Thunder Network, and it just blew up. I was I didn't expect that. I was just like, this is going to be a hobby for me until we get past this. But it just blew up, and we've got 50 odd countries a day listening to us. We've got I think it's like 8 Facebook pages now.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. There are a couple of things I was like, now which one am I? Yes, okay, this one.
So basically, the Country Thunder Network is the radio stations page, and then from that it branches out to the pages for specific regions. So the UK one is specifically for UK information. Basically, if you bring out a new song, that's gonna sit on the UK page as well as the Country Thunder Network page. So it's more localized information. And then the USA page, Canada page, the Europe page. We split the UK and Europe because obviously of Brexit. So I thought, we'll just split it now, and we've got Australia News. We've got Australia, New Zealand as well. We split that. We didn't have to split that one, but I just thought, oh well, they've got their own country music community, might as well just split that too. And we just took on some artists from South Africa as well. So that's become the newest page. And now we do local charts as well, which the Country Thunder 20.
Oh, hello.
We do the Country Thunder 20 chart, which is the international, or anybody can be on that. And then we do an Australia chart, which has got Australia and New Zealand. We do a North American chart, which is Canada and the USA. And we'd like to do a UK Euro chart, but we don't have enough people getting voted for. We don't do one yet.
No.
Yes. So,
don't know until it's until you can guarantee some interactions.
That's right. So until that starts moving and those pages start moving and people start realizing there's UK music, because we've got as I said before off camera, we've got Amelia Quinn, we've got Danny McMahon, we've got Kelsey Bovey, we've got Bob Fitzgerald, we've actually got quite a few UK artists, and they're bloody good. What was the other one? Sugartown Slim. Oh, I like them.
I've not heard of them.
Their track's called Chasing Fireflies. There you go.
I'll look them up.
Yeah, look it up. It's called Sugartown Slim, Chasing Fireflies. It's quite a good song. I like that. So we've got a few artists that have come in from the UK, and we obviously, as I said, we know Pete Englefield, so we can always pick stuff from the UK. It's not hard for us to get it, but I'd rather the artists actually want to be on the station. Yeah, absolutely, and want to send it and go, we want to be a part of this,
Yeah. I just started an alt country radio show last night, in fact, for a network. Wow. It is funny how you have said to people, send me your stuff, and the people who do are so enthusiastic, and it's like, but then you get loads that don't, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to play you. So you give me something. It's like, I like all of you, but give me something back as well that I can use. And
correct. And I mean, the same thing has happened. I get so many messages on our Facebook pages saying, hey, how do we submit our songs to you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, this is the way you do it. And it's on our website. There's a little thing that says how to do it. And you can click on that, and it takes you straight to the email, so you can actually send the email straight from our website. We've got it all set up so it's easy to do, and it simply says, your track, your latest track in MP3 format, the cover art, and a short bio. Send it to us at this email address.
Yeah.
And that's on our Facebook pages. That's on our website. And I get messages going, how do we submit it? So I always have to send the photo to them and go, look, this is the way, and this is what we advertise, and they're like, yeah, cool, we'll do it, and then hardly anybody does it.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
well, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I spend,
You know?
for my now I think it's interesting seeing the DJ side of it, and like the submissions that you do get that do stand out, that the ones that have everything in order, their EPK, their images, their metadata is signed properly, and you're like, I can find that straight away if I think I'm going to put you in whatever show in a couple of weeks' time. If it's not, I'll forget, and I'll be like, oh, sorry.
And I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and spend hours trying to tag all your information so that it's all there in the system. Exactly. It should be all done and ready to go.
Like name, track. That's it. So easy, because someone like me, you'll type in Biddy, you'll find it straight away. There'll be like 5-6 tracks. Boom.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. But if it's Joe, oh, this is Joe. Who's Joe?
Yeah, there is something to be said to that. Or it's sort of the name or something stands out about the title, or I don't know.
Yeah. I like how people just send you a track and it just has the track name and not the artist name, and it's like, well, hold on, where did this track come from? I got it off my email the other day, and then I deleted the email because I don't want to clog my email up. But now I don't know who actually sung it because it's not in the metadata.
No, it just gets lost in the system. I don't think people. I mean, I didn't when I first started out. I didn't realize how important the metadata was, or any of the EPKs, etc. But now I can see. I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna. So much stuff on this laptop anyway, like samples and I just get lost in there somewhere. Yeah,
for sure. Anyway. have it all tagged. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'd like to hear more about your radio program, because maybe we'd like to have it on the Country Thunder Network as well.
There you go. I don't know how it works, because that's under a country radio umbrella here. So I don't know what they do. I'm just doing it from home for an hour on Wednesdays and hoping it works.
Well, I mean, if you want to send it to other radio stations, that's up to you, I suppose. Or do you do it live, or do you do it recorded?
It's live at the minute whilst I find my feet, and then I might start recording them. Yeah,
I do pre-recorded shows because it just gets too hard doing live shows.
It was pretty tough, like technology-wise. I was like, But I think the performance side of me does it live. Like if I'm on stage, I don't worry that much. Like I kind of know what I'm doing. If it's the technology that always gets me. I'm like, oh, and that stresses me out more than I'm talking to you now.
Do it. Yep. No problem with the speaking, just problems with the pushing of the buttons. That's exactly. It. I'm pretty much the same, don't worry. So I gotta ask, and I know it's a hard question to answer right now, but what's next for Biddy?
Well, we have been quite lucky. We got back into the studio, myself and another writer and Stuart, the producer, a couple of weeks back now, and we stormed through things that we had in pieces or things that we'd written during lockdown that we thought, you know what, that is actually a pretty good song. Let's get that and let's finish it, and let's not talk about it, and let's just get it out. So we've got now from having nothing to release, we've now got I've got a duet coming out on the 28th of August, and that's a charity duet because it's been done with a musician charity here in the UK. So that comes out with that. Okay. And that's with a guy called David Luke, and I do write with him anyway sometimes. And yeah, he wasn't country before, but now he's coming over to the dark side because he was more poppy before. And I was like, your voice really lends itself to country. You should try this side of things. And so the duet's it's going out. It's been sent out, and it's kind of gradually getting sent out to people, I guess. And so that's next. And then there'll be there's a pop project I co-wrote on again with David that's getting released in September. we're not featured vocalists. We just wrote the thing, but we'll be pushing it because I've never done pop, so that's new for me. And then at Christmas there'll be another single. So yeah.
Cool. So I'm guessing you're going to be sending me that duet so I can have a listen to it and see if it gets on the Country Thunder
say,
network.
if you've not got it, it'll be probably on the next stream of emails that go out, because I thought there's a lot now. Ken helps me with emailing. So Ken Meakin, as you mentioned, he does help with a lot of the pushing the track. So I'll push him if he's not done.
Okay, well, I'll see if he sent me an email, because I did see one recently. The problem with his emails is sometimes they how Gmail has your primary email, your
they go in the social.
And then it goes to social, and then it goes promotion. Yeah. So his sits in promotion. I don't see it for days. I'm used to my primary email. It's like just. So, and I don't know how to change that. I still don't know how to make that go into primary.
It goes in my spam inbox on Hotmail, so I'm like, oh. But most things do on Hotmail.
Yeah, that's right. Hotmail, does that still exist?
Yeah, the only reason I've still got that email is because my Facebook is registered to Hotmail and a couple of other things that you think, oh, it's just a ball ache to change it now. I'll just leave it on. There's no card details.
Same for me. My Hotmail address from years and years and years and years back, I've never used it ever since, but it's attached to my Facebook, so I've just never changed it.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
There.
The same name, just hotmail.com. I think we all happened, didn't it? When MySpace was big, and you had your little section on Hotmail, had an MSN, and that's where we've all had it from.
Yep, that's right. I wish we still had I wish we still had MySpace. It'd be so nice. Nowadays, it'd be much better than Facebook.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, everything in one place. Like MySpace music was amazing.
Yeah. I think the problem is Justin Timberlake sold it off. Like after the guy that originally owned it, what was his name? Tom. I wish Tom was still my friend. I wish Tom was still my friend. He was my first friend on MySpace.
Whenever he's doing with a white shirt on.
Yeah, and his back turned. He was like this.
This is my side profile.
That's it. That's right. It was awesome. He was my first friend, and then he sold it, and Justin Timberlake bought it. And then Justin Timberlake, I don't think he knew what to do with it, and I think he sold it to a tech group who just dismantled it.
Yeah. That's a shame. It could have been, it could have been the one place to put everything, but it wasn't. So,
I think the way Facebook is now, we all wish MySpace was back.
Yeah, exactly. It's in one place. You had your profile. You could put your music profile with that profile, and now you have to run 1 billion pages across social media and SoundCloud, Bandcamp. And you're like, this is why people pay managers to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of work. Work. All right. Well, Biddy, thank you very much for joining me. I do wish you all the best. I hope that this COVID thing gets out of the way and you can get back to doing what you do best. And we look forward to the new releases. Your new releases, not your just songwriting new releases, because we won't play those.
I was going to say, I'm not sure the pop thing for you, but
no. I'll have a listen to them, no problem. But I just won't play them on the radio station.
We'll stick to the country. We'll send you the country.
That's right. Well, you have a fantastic time, and please stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
No worries. Yeah, no problem. That was Biddy Ronelle, or better known as Biddy. And you can hear her latest single, Thrill, on the Country Thunder Network. And you can vote for it on the Country Thunder 20, of course. So please get onto the Facebook page, countrythunder.com.au, and vote for Biddy with her song Thrill, or you can obviously download it or stream it from the usual streaming platforms. Until next time, this is DJ Dax signing out for Dax Chats, proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. See you next time. Bye.